everybody. How's it going? The weather's pretty amazing, I have to say. So that in and of itself kind of relieves some of my PMS. But I have another tip for you today. Tip 3 out of 5 of something practical, very easy that you can do every week that you PMS. It doesn't have to just be in quarantine, but it's a really helpful way for you to reduce stress and therefore just feel better. Because honestly, during PMS week, what you're really feeling is stressed. You're feeling overwhelmed. Your body is overburdened with stress hormones, and so you are not feeling in your element. The week before you have your period, you drop in serotonin. When estrogen levels fall, so does serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter in your brain that makes you feel relaxed and happy. In SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Prozac or Lexapro, the serotonin in your brain is constantly being recycled, and that's what makes you feel just a little bit better. So we definitely want to hang on to all the serotonin we possibly can and create as much serotonin as we can as well. If you can protect your progesterone and your estrogen levels the week before your period and throughout the month as well, then you will experience greater levels of serotonin that week before your period. That is what you want. Now, there's a complicated interplay of what happens when your brain perceives too much stress and your body reacts to that stress by outputting stress hormones like we talked about earlier this week, like cortisol and adrenaline and noradrenaline. The hormones in your body, your endocrine system, what's up, Kurt? The endocrine system, it's constantly talking to each other, right? Your brain will input signals and then send out signals, and that's what hormones are, just chemical messengers or signalers out to the rest of the body to tell the body what to do. Hey, Lacey, hope you're enjoying your time away from the bank, girl. Today we're just talking about my third tip for happy hormones the week before your period. So sorry, Kurt, that's what we're talking about today. And really, how your body reacts to that stress that's presented in your environment. The HPA axis, or hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands, are what really mitigate the stress response in the body. So the hypothalamus and pituitary are two glands located in your brain that pull in those stress responses. So whether it be a difficult day at work, not enough food to eat if you're a woman who's restricting calories. Oh, good. Okay, good. Kurt's wife. I'm glad to hear it. If you're exercising too much, if you have a fight with your spouse or your kid, or you're just in traffic, the brain perceives that as a stress. It can't tell the difference between a stress like that and then a stress that, is an actual stress, a perceived threat on the body that could indicate that danger is coming. So for instance, being chased by a tiger or a bear, or, about to fall off a cliff while you're hiking, something like that. The brain perceives that as stress, and you can start to feel your hormones rise, your adrenaline, your noradrenaline, and your cortisol. You can feel your heart rate rise. You start to sweat a little bit. Your pupils dilate. Sometimes you have bowel issues because your body is conserving energy to basically save its life. So we want to mitigate that stress response when we possibly can, only because it's kind of a big deal for the body. And when that happens day in and day out, because you are stressed and stressed and stressed, the body eventually starts to shut down. The hormone production in the body will become insufficient, leading to all this fatigue, all this where you just feel cruddy all the time. Hi, Kristen. You just feel exhausted. You can sleep 8 to 10 hours at night. You wake up, you still don't feel rested. You need naps during the day, and you just walk around like a zombie because you don't have sufficient cortisol levels. You don't have sufficient serotonin levels. Hi, Gina. So you want to make sure, again, when you can, that you're protecting that stress response as much as humanly possible so that you can protect those really precious hormones and neurotransmitters the week before your period. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. So today's tip is just a very easy tip. And I will tell you, when I work with my private clients, I always ask them, what's the one thing you did before you had kids, before you had a job, before you had to be an adult, that you really enjoyed doing? What did you love to do in your free time? And most of them look at me like this. They have no idea. They don't remember what they did when they were younger. They don't remember what they did in their leisure time or their free time because their lives have gotten so crazy and so hectic that they haven't indulged in any of that leisure time for a really long time. So yeah, Julie knows what I'm talking about. So we start working on that in my programs. We really start working on claiming back some of that leisure time. It's not a ton. It's not like I'm asking you to be super selfish with your time and take, minutes away from your family or your job. But what I am asking you to do is again, reclaim some of that joy that you felt for doing something that had no purpose. You don't have to do it to check anything off a box. You don't have to do it to get anything done for work or make your spouse happy. It's just for you. It brings you joy. It brings down your cortisol levels. It brings up your serotonin levels. And I'll tell you, it can make for a happier mama the week of your period, all right? So one of the things that is super easy to do, you don't have to spend any money, is reading, okay? If reading's your thing, maybe reading's not your thing. I love to read. I freaking love to read. I love reading for my job. I love reading for fun. I have 4 kids, and I thought that my one girl, I have one daughter, and I thought that she and I would share this love of reading. Like, we'd read all the Harry Potter novels together. We'd read like Winnie the Pooh books when she was little, and all these great treasures. Not that those are like amazing treasures, but really I thought we'd read like Little Women, all that fun stuff. And she doesn't like to read. Like, she just doesn't like to read, and it really bums me out. But that's not her joy. That's not her leisure. It's more of a chore for her to do than it is serotonin boosting experience. And that poor girl's got her period already too, so we have to work on leisure time for my dear Rebecca as well. So reading for me is a pleasure and a joy. I love books, novels, magazines. I'm really actually kind of weird, and some of you are probably like this. I enjoy reading for work. I love reading for my master's program. Like, a medical textbook makes me super happy. Hey, Mindy, how's it going? So that's my joy. That's my leisure. And that's what you could have found me doing any random weekend when I had leisure time as a young kid. My mom would make us go outside and do yard work for hours and hours and hours. And I knew that on Saturday, after I finished mowing the lawn and chopping down, bushes and cleaning up leaves, we only had girls in my family, so the girls had to do all the yard work. Then I could have an hour or two in my room just so I could read before my mom hauled us off to another spot, Saturday night. So it's still my joy and my leisure now. It's something you can do. It's very easy. Like, find a book club to be part of if you want to, trade out books or magazines with friends. Kindle Unlimited is only $9.99 a month. And you would be surprised at the amount of literature that they have on Kindle Unlimited, not only for you, but if you're homeschooling, for your kids as well. They have like Pete the Cat books and other fun things for little kids and bigger kids. So again, for me, it's reading. It doesn't have to be reading for you, but let me know. You guys are all here. Let me know. So what are some of the leisure things, the leisure activities that you enjoyed as a kid that maybe you're not pouring time into now? Just go ahead and type it in so I can see, because I want to know. Not everybody's as nerdy as I am. Mindy, what's yours? And maybe it's different for your kids too. So, ask your kids that, and use this time during, our quarantine to really, figure out what is it that you like to do, and do it 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day. You bet your bottom dollar I'm reading a little bit more in quarantine. And I'm going to try to sew a little bit too, like stuff I just don't get to do while I'm racing from school to work and sports and church and all of that stuff that regular life makes me do. Now I get a little bit of time to practice what I really want to do. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Mindy likes to paint. Thanks, Mindy. I love it. That's fantastic. Not too super expensive. Doesn't take a ton of time. You can do it while you're like listening to music or a podcast or something, and it can just calm your body down, calm that stress response down, relieve some of the pressure on your HPA axis, and cause the adrenal glands to stop outputting so much cortisol so that your body can level out. If you do 30 to 60 minutes of leisure time on most days, you will feel a little bit more relaxed. I promise you. So I would encourage you this week to figure it out. What is it that you love doing? What is it that you would do if you didn't have to go to work, right? What is it that you do if you had 48 hours in the day and you got all of your work done? And let me know, and practice it, and let me know if that helps you this coming week, because a lot of PMS, again, is that stress response going overactive because of a complex interplay of hormones. But some of it also is just too much stress on the body. I can pretty much guarantee you that 400 years ago, women were not experiencing PMS, even though they had a crap ton more of activities and work to do during the day than we do now. They weren't as rushed as we were, and they lived more in community. And so that's really my focus for my own community, is to just pull back a little bit, slow down a little bit, do what you can to milk out of the day the leisure time that you can. And then, of course, like we already talked about this week, get your sleep and take a walk every day. Is it done? Do it. If it's not, it's only 3 o'clock. You got a couple more hours of daylight. It's not raining right now, so go get your walk in. Make sure you're in bed by 10 o'clock and practice some leisure time today. And that will definitely decrease your PMS. If not this month, then next month. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.